Alright, this tutorial is phase 1 of the sports drink collaboration project with the marketing class. Step 1 is to read your design brief. The one that I've been selected to design for is called Strawbana, and it's a combination of strawberry banana. It looks like they're trying to focus on the flavors and the naturally pink color that it will be. It says that they're also trying to attract athletes of all sports, so I don't have to really focus on one specific sport. To get started, you're going to open a couple Photoshop documents. Now you can use Illustrator if you choose, or a combination of the two. But I'm going to start with Photoshop, and I'm going to start with my logo document. So you would go File, New, and we want our logos to be 4 by 4 inches because it's just kind of a nice size. Remember, the 3 items you're doing is a logo, a bottle with a label, and then one other marketing item. So let's call this sports drink logo. Now you could name it whatever drink you're designing if you'd like to. Now I did 4 by 4 and I chose 300 resolution just because that gives you such a better print ready design. The only problem is if you're using any pictures off the internet, you're going to need to make sure they're high resolution, and I'll show you some resources for that. So hit OK. Now you've got your 4 by 4 inch square. I'm going to start just by working with text a little bit. Now obviously you guys have a little more time than I do on this tutorial, so you can really play with it more. I'm going to just go Strawbana. I actually kind of like this gray tune text. It's a little bit funky, but it kind of has a cool, I don't know, I could see that on a label. It's got a nice look to it. So I'm going to hit return. And I think I'm going to just work with some layer styles and see what kind of color harmony I can get. I like the pink, but I want to do some sort of yellow outline, so I'm kind of focusing on the banana idea. So I'm going to go layer, layer style. I'm going to start with a stroke. So I clicked on stroke, and right now it's red, and you can see that my little picker has red in it. And I'm going to just go to a yellow. They also talked about neon, and neons are really hard to actually print from our printer. Notice this little exclamation point basically is telling me that yellow is way too extreme to be printable, but you can try it. It just will not be calibrated to our printer. But I'll stick with the yellow and hit OK. And I'm going to make the size a little bigger so I really have a nice outline of that. And then I think I'm going to go with a satin. Kind of like it to look shiny a bit here. I'm going to change this color, however, to something a little more strawberry-ish. Maybe something like that. And hit OK. Now I can change the size and the distance if I wanted, but I kind of like the settings to be just as is. I just want a little pop to it, just a little roundness to the design. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I think I will arch it. So remember, to arch your text, you can click on your T tool and use your little warp tool. I'm going to go to arc, and not too drastic, but maybe more like 35 or so. Okay, so this is just the start of my logo. And I go kind of funky with it. It sounds like they want a lot going on in their logo. It says they want a strawberry and a banana splashing together to make a huge pink flashy splash. So huge pink flashy splash, I think I'm going to go to my custom shape tool, and notice that in my options here, remember, if you don't see all these, make sure you're on all options. But I did see a flashy splash. I could use something like this, but I think this blob shape might be just what I'm looking for. So I'm going to grab that and go back to my document. I'm going to hold my shift key and just make a nice big flashy splash, like they said. And notice that it's continuing with my layer styles I had here. I'm going to rotate it. Well, actually, I think it looks kind of nice straight up and down. Hopefully it doesn't look like a starfish, but we'll work with it, see what we can do. And notice that this layer is a little bit different here. It's actually rasterized, or sorry, vectorized. We're going to go layer, layers, or layer, rasterize, shape. And then it basically matches a little bit better there. So for some reason this satin effect is looking a little different. I'm going to see if I can make that maybe a little more pinkish in here. Ooh, that is working. I'm still on my text layer, so I'm going to hit cancel and cancel. Sometimes you're on the wrong layer as you're doing that. So let's see here. Pattern overlay. I don't know why that's showing. Oh, this is from a past document I was working on. So anyway, if I wanted to adjust any of these layers, they can all be fixed right through there. But I'm going to move on so that we're not bored to tears here. In fact, I might even make this a little bit smaller. I think I might fit the slogan underneath it. Okay, so there's my first couple steps. Now I'm going to actually use photos for this image on the logo. Usually a logo doesn't include raster photos, but it's kind of a free-for-all assignment here where you can really play with it. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go to a website called Morguefile. It's actually a free stock photography page, and it's an easy way to search for things, especially simple things like a strawberry. I can actually find some really great imagery. So I'm going to click here on this strawberry, and I'm just going to slide this over onto my document. Since it's such a simple image, I probably won't even use a double document there. And then I'm also going to get a banana. Okay, so let's see here. Bananas are a little trickier to find. Looks like there isn't really a lone banana. But if I get down here toward the bottom, I think this one will work. So I'm going to click on this guy and pull this over. The nice thing about these is not only are they free, but they're high resolution pictures that are going to be easy to work with. Okay, so notice I've got several layers here. I think what I'll do next is I'm going to take off the white, the background of this layer. So I'm going to just click. Pretty easy to select here. And remember, there are many, many ways to use selection tools to get rid of these parts, and luckily that was a really simple solution here. And let's see how our strawberry goes. Oops, I'm still on the banana layer, so let me switch over to strawberry. And again, I can just do little bits at a time. And luckily that was pretty easy to do. Now the fingers are going to be a lot different here. I may actually just do a little cheater move here. Get my eraser. I can hold Control, get my diameter a little bigger, and then I'm just going to erase the finger section. And again, there are so many ways. We could use the vector pen tool to get this strawberry. See, that wasn't really my best work there, but again, you've got a lot more time to make it look nice. But I'm just going to erase around here, try to get as much as I can off so the strawberry is kind of a lone image to work with. Okay, and the rest of that, let's see if I can get rid of that with the wand tool. Could probably zoom way in and get that a lot clearer. So let me just do that. Remember, sometimes you have to get way in there, and I can get my eraser again, Control click to my tools quickly, and just kind of get in there, get rid of that stuff. Okay, fix this little part too. All right, I'm going to zoom back out and see where I am here. So they wanted an explosion of fruit. I think what I'm going to do is actually just definitely going to flip these bananas. So I'm going to go Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. And I'm going to sort of shove these near each other. And I think I'll put the strawberry in the front since it's a smaller shape. So I'll just flip these layers around here. And so far I'm kind of liking this logo. I think I want to group everything and make it all smaller. So remember to group it all, shift click on every layer. And I'm going to just shrink everything together, hit return. And I think it needs a shape behind it. So I'm going to get my marquee tool. And if I start from the center and hold Option, I can actually drag from the center out, which is going to help me because I just want like a sort of an oval that fits that design. And I'm going to make sure I have a layer at the very bottom now. So make a new layer. I'm going to put it at the very bottom. Then I'm just going to get a paint bucket and fill it with a color. Kind of like that color. I do feel like I could get something a little more interesting though. Let's see. I like the bright. I think they're going for more of a bright color. And then they mentioned something in their design brief. They wanted giant strawberries and bananas colliding together. Let's see. They want a sleek, clean, eye-catching label against a neon color. It does say they want black on the outside fading into white. So maybe I'll put a border on this layer. So I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to go back to layer, layer style, and I'm going to go back to stroke. And this time I'm going to do, maybe see how a black stroke looks and thicken that up because they mentioned they like that, the black outline. Kind of like how that looks. I'm going to hit OK and keep going on this. So I do feel like I have a couple mistakes here. I can tell on the banana now that there's a pink background. I've got a little bit more to erase. So go to that banana layer and just kind of touch it up, make it look a little bit better. And I also noticed that on my text layer, I probably should go back to my warp and make that match the shape of the arc a little better, just so that it's a nice form. Okay, so now I can move this in any way I want. I'm not really loving that yellow, but I can fix it later. So these things I definitely know I want to keep together. So I'm going to merge those pieces. I'm going to just hit shift on those three. And actually, maybe I'll keep them separate, but I'm going to make them bigger together and move them together. I'm going to try to fit this slogan right underneath the design. Actually, I think I'm going to leave it like that instead. I do want to try one last thing though. I'm going to go to layer 3, which is just that pink background. I'm going to go to filter and let's see here. I might try to do color halftone. Well, it's not really what I'm looking for. Let me try filter. Quantize. Looks like a little bit too busy on the eyes, so I'm going to undo that. But I just want to try a couple things. Remember, it's nice to have the option to fix things and change them around. I'm still feeling like my size is a little off, so I'm going to just select all of these logo parts one more time. And then I'm going to not add much more than this, because remember, a logo is supposed to be simple. Forgot my strawberry there, so I'm going to hit return, step backwards one. And you want to keep your logo simple, but you want to follow everything they asked you to do. So I think I got it. I read my project brief. This looks like a logo I could see on different things. It's probably a little bit more detailed than most logos, especially since we're using photos in it. But I think it's going to work for now. So I'm going to save this and start working on my packaging design.